and bang them flat 2 to 3 times. The perfect chocolate chip cookie is possible. Hi, I'm Scott from sanmarcosmakes. This is my second cookie or biscuit. Been watching lots of British Bake Off lately, but this was special. Pan bang cookies. It's fun, it's loud, and the best cookie you're ever gonna eat. It's both crispy, chewy, delicious, and as big as your face. So Sarah Kiefer, a baker, developed this perfect cookie recipe. I'm going to be following the New York Times version, which is the exact copy what is in her book. So I will put a link down in the description down below, but let's look at the ingredients. All right, so let's look at the ingredients. Of course, we need a little bit of flour, baking soda, salt. We're also going to need 2 sticks of butter. Going to need some vanilla extract, an egg, granulated sugar, and brown sugar. And lastly, you're going to need not chocolate chips. So this is a chocolate bar cut up. There is a very big purpose of this. So do not use chips. Basically, and I'll have all the ounces, but I believe this is 6 ounces of chocolate bars cut up. You want all the different sizes. Want all the sizes. So that's your ingredients. All right, so we're going to start with the dry ingredients, and kind of a tip for the day if you are new to baking or maybe even a long time baking. This is a must. You've got to get a digital scale. Measuring cups are convenient, but they are so inaccurate. If you start switching to measuring, you're going to get exact ingredients. So I need 256 grams of all-purpose flour. So hopefully you can see this and you can see what I mean. I think you can see it. So we're at, what is that, 27. We need 256. So let's see, I believe that's about 100, 133, and we need 256. Oops, I'm making a mess. What is that, 195? Let me clean this off a little bit. 231. We need 256. All right, so look, we're at 262. I need 256. We're just gonna kind of take it off until we are at 256. Look at the difference. We're just taking that little bit off. Makes a huge difference. All right, so we got that. Next, we're gonna add our salt and baking soda. So we need a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. So just the old Arm & Hammer. Get that in there. Now we need 3/4 of tablespoon or teaspoon of salt. Well, that would have made a difference, wouldn't it? Probably have been good. All right, so there's a quarter. We need and a half. Math is working out pretty good. All right, so we'll mix that all together. All right, so we're gonna add our 2 sticks of butter. You'll notice that I am using salted butter. It's the only butter I ever use. What's the point of butter without salt in my mind? If you don't like a ton of salt, we've already added some salt, so if you want to use unsalted butter, you're going to be perfectly fine. But I prefer salted butter. But anyway, we're going to cook this, or not cook this, we're going to mix this up for about 2 minutes, probably even less. We're just going to get it nice and creamy, so about medium on the KitchenAid. We're going to add the sugar. Let's add the sugar. So sugar wise, that was 302 grams of granulated sugar. or it's 1.5 cups, but trust me, go with the grams. It's also either 1/4 of a cup or 55 grams of light brown sugar. All right, so we're gonna turn this back on to medium, and we're gonna go for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so that should be good and creamed. Next, we're gonna add 1 egg. Both, yep, egg white and the yolk. We are gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We'll get low. Get this in there. All right. Next ingredient's kind of a strange one. It's what I didn't talk about because everybody's gonna have it. 2 tablespoons of water. Very important ingredient here. So the purpose of that water, we're trying to thin the batter. This is gonna be the thinnest batter you've ever made a cookie. There's a purpose. We'll talk way more about it. All right, so we're gonna beat these until they're combined. All right, once you got those combined, this is where you're gonna add the flour, the salt, and the baking soda. So let's get that in there. Kind of evenly mix it around. And this is where you want to go straight right now. Just super as fast as it'll go. Just kidding. Just as low as you can go. Otherwise you're going to have a really messy kitchen. Now you just want to take this basically and go until it's combined. We're also, after that, we're going to add the chocolate chips. You just want to go low. You may want to stop here and there and take down the sides, but it's come together nicely, and we'll get those chocolate chips. So next is those wonderful chocolate chips, or they're not chips. I got to get out of the habit of saying that. These are just chocolate bars all cut up with a knife. Wonderful, wonderful, good chocolate. All right, let's stir that, combine that. Big pieces, little pieces. I mean, just crumbs even. But that's what's going to be really good. Now, got a paddle on it. Stop it every once in a while. And I'm actually going to lower this, get it all off the paddle. And you want to make sure it gets good and combined so the chocolate is nice and mixed in there. And I'm actually kind of happy with it. So I'm going to take off my paddle and of course not lose as little as I can on this. You know, if you like the batter, probably a good one to taste right now. Cookie dough is so yummy, but I'm gonna try to save as much as I can. And no, this is not the easiest right now for you to see. So let me see if, there we go. All right, so next we got to start forming the balls. So this is gonna look like a huge cookie. And yes, we're making huge cookies. So normally I use this as my cookie scoop. If you've watched my other cookie video, this is one of the greatest. If you're making cookies, you gotta have a cookie scoop. It is way too small for these cookies, but I'm just gonna use it and put probably 2 scoops. But again, this is exactly where the scale comes out because you want these all to look identical. So what we're trying to achieve is a 100-gram ball. So I'm gonna take the scoop, I'm gonna put it on there, and right now we're at 52. So let's go again and see where we're at. And that was actually only 85, so we need just a little more. And we're right at 101. I'm good with that. So we're gonna If you want to go ahead and make these balls, you can. But that's a huge ball. And you're going to put it on a cookie sheet. And you're going to go until they are all done. It's going to make about 10. If you're using a scale, going to get about 10. Might get a little less, but that's about where you're going to get. This will be a little sticky, but if you just roll your hands, it does not matter at this point how far apart they are. So we're going to make them all up, but right now I'm just getting them on the tray. So I'm going to go ahead and make them, and we'll show you what that looks like. All right, so we got 9 of them. Perfect one out. I think yesterday I did get 10. I don't know what made the difference. Everything was absolutely measured out, but I may have just stretched it a little further. 1 ounce here, 1 ounce there, but either way, 9 perfect cookies. I know they look big. Next step, we're going to get them in the freezer. We want to get them hard. Get that butter nice and cold again. We're only going to be in there for 10 minutes. If your oven takes a while to warm up, this is where you'd want to get it to a 350. Mine warms up very quick. I have gas, so I'm going to about maybe halfway through that 10-minute, I'm going to get my oven preheated. But we want a preheated 350 degree oven. But for now, let's get these in the freezer for 10 minutes. All right, so I want to clear up a couple things. First, I think I said something wrong. In the freezer for 15 minutes, not 10. But you're only putting the ones in the freezer that are fixing to go in the oven. You're gonna have to spread them out. So I've been doing 3. You could probably get 4 on here, but only those. Other than that, they're in the refrigerator. So here is one of the balls. You want to give them plenty of room to grow. So I just been doing 3. You could probably sneak 4 in here. These are going to go in the oven for 10 minutes. 350 oven for 10 minutes. And then we finally get to start banging. But 10 minutes first, let's get it in there. You won't need to see that yet. It'll be the next part. Middle rack too. Now, I want to get the ones in the refrigerator for the next batch. Wait, Alexa, set me timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, had to get that going. But we want to get the next round going, so we're going to put 3 more in here on the pan, get them in the refrigerator. All right, so we're going to do my best to show this. So, all right, this is the banging portion. So, I'm trying to get a good clear. So you can see in the middle, they have kind of rows. You're going to take this up and bang them flat 2 to 3 times. You're trying to create the ripples. You're going to close it and bake 2 to 3 more minutes. You're going to bang it again 2 to 3 times. Close it. Bake it. Bang it. Going to go 16 to 18 minutes or until you got perfectly golden cookies with the ripples. So, to kind of explain what we're doing a little differently or the same way, we're going to let these cookies expand, and when they expand, we want to take the pan and bang it. And you're not going to hurt anything. Bang it flat. You're wanting them to get as flat as you can make them. Let them poof back up. Bang! Flat. Bang! And it's creating these ripples. Those ripples is what is so good. So good. So, we'll come back here in just a second. Okay, it's been 2.5 minutes. Let's check them. You can see they are a little bit starting to rise. You can see they have ripples. That's what we're wanting. So let's bang them. Can you see now how flat they are? Throw them in there. And go at least one more time. Alright, so let's check them again. We're going to now determine, are we done or are we going to go one more round? They are looking wonderful. They're not rising much anymore. I'm gonna bang them one time and see what they look like. Go one more. Alright, I'm gonna throw them in for 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna call them done. Alright, so I believe we are done. Let's see if you can see these. Yep, so we're gonna get them on a cooling rack and then we're gonna start getting the next ones in. Alright, so next batch is out, and the more I do it, the more I'm learning. So I think see how this here and this here is kind of overlapped. I think I banged it too hard. So there is a limit. So probably all we need to do is lift it up at the top and let it fall. Lift it up, let it fall. Next thing that I wanted to show is how to get them up. So this is a little bit tricky. The first time I did it, regular spatula is not going to work. It's just too big. So what I started doing is using my pastry cutter, or whatever we want to call that thing, and go under it. There's so much butter on it, it comes up pretty easy. And I take another one, and they're very loose. Get it as quick as you can to a drying rack. Last batch. This is the best they've come out. I'm really pleased with this last one. But if you can see, try to zoom out a little bit. Let's see, let me get my fingers right. Okay, so you see all the ripples? That's what's making these things so good. But really pleased. We'll let these set on a cooling rack and we'll be able to get some. Need some. They're incredibly when they're still warm. Just madness how good these things are. Alright, so the last 3 are done. Just look at how wonderful those things came out. Just some examples of them. Just incredible. And I did even have one break. But who cares? They're a little fragile, especially in the beginning. But they do that really good, crisp edge. Come out really good. So they are absolutely, without a question, best right now. Nice and warm. But there's no way, no person is going to eat all of it. They're too rich. So after you eat your one, the next day, if you want these, throw them in the microwave 15 seconds. They're going to be almost as good. Really good job. Great cookie. This is not your everyday chocolate chip cookie. Special occasions. This cookie takes a little bit of time to make, but they are absolutely the best. And to kind of give a testimonial, if you wish, I believe, you'd have to ask her, but I think my wife was very skeptical about these cookies. She loved the ones I made before, but I kept talking about them, very skeptical. Even as I was making them, kind of still did not know how it would be. She agrees, best chocolate chip cookie either. My son, best chocolate chip. Everybody that's had these, at least in my household, has said best cookie they've ever had. So definitely give them a try. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I want to grow this channel. Really had a good time doing this. And if you make them, let me know. Follow me on social media, on Instagram, or whatever you want to do. But I want to see yours. Tell me what you think. Cool. Well, we'll see you next time. Hope you get to make these cookies.